So, Keyshawn, which of these teams will be a bigger threat come playoff time, Packers or Vikings?
You know how I feel about the playoffs and the weather and all that sort of stuff. I know everybody should be able to play in the rain, Joy. It gets a little cold, but Green Bay is a portable football team, partly because they're in Green Bay where it's freezing cold, and if they have to go to some cold spot, whether it's a Philadelphia or whatever the case may be, they should be able to handle their own. Where all of a sudden, you're looking at Minnesota, if they got to leave that dome and get out into that cold, I don't know if that's going to be able to transfer the same way. It's something about teams that play in warm weather and in domes when they hit those freezing temperatures that things change a little bit. Plus, their defense is just playing pretty good. They're creating turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Sam Darnold, the receivers and whatnot, is doing exactly what they brought him there to do, is get those guys the football and let Justin Jefferson and company make plays. So I think as I look at the matchups, they can go to Washington, for instance, and be fine. They can go to Philadelphia and be fine. Where I don't necessarily know if Minnesota can do that if they had to leave that dome in those freezing temperatures.
Who's the bigger threat in the NFC, Packers or Vikings?
I actually like the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, when I look at the matchup right now, it looks like they may be playing Atlanta, and Green Bay is set to see the Rams, which is a nightmare first round for them, I believe, with Sean McVay. I like they're the hottest team in the league, for one, and I know you can look at their 8-game win streak and say, they probably ain't playing anybody well. They play who's put on their schedule, and they're getting the job done. So I just, with a young team, as a matter of fact, the youngest team in the NFL to just go into harsh conditions and pressure moments and try to get a victory. They're still growing. They still have time. But Vikings, I like what Sam Darnold has done. Jefferson and Addison, the combination, those weapons they have over there are ridiculous. I can see the Vikings actually winning the NFC because, look, I think, like Keyshawn said, it's about matchups because I don't see a clear-cut favorite. Yeah, you can say Philly is the most complete team. Well, the Lions are banged up, but after that, it's wide open. Let Jaden Daniels get hot. Let Love, he can go on a run. Let Sam Darnold. I think the NFC is wide open. It's going to depend on matchups.
It is wide open, but when you leave that dome, that's why I like Green Bay, because they travel well.
Yeah.
It just makes sense with Josh Jacobs running the football, and then you obviously got Jordan Love, those receivers. Now, I don't know what's going on with Watson, but if they can get him healthy and get him back, because seems like something's always wrong with him at the wrong time for them. Defensively, they seem like that they're trying to come around a little bit. Both of them will be a tough out, but I just believe that Green Bay will be a bigger threat long-term in the NFC.
Yeah, to me, it's the Packers because I've seen the Packers go on the road last year and beat a really, really, really good Dallas team with 8 or 9 All-Pros. It was 9 All-Pros, including Dak Prescott, who had an MVP-level season. And they went on the road where they had won 16 home games in a row and knocked them out of the playoffs in week 1. Now, listen, the Vikings have had a really great regular season, but every once in a while I'll take a big swing. But most of the time, I'm 10 toes down right on the ledge, and I'm not jumping off. I've seen the Packers do it before. I haven't seen the Vikings do this before. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'll keep it real. I'm a little scared of Sam Darnold.
Why?
I don't know. Probably because of his past, I'm trying to not judge.
Not real.
I don't know. It happens. It happens.
They changed them.
Let me ask you a question, Joy.
I don't believe it.
Can I ask you a question, Joy?
They changed them.
As smart as you are as a, analyst, host, whatever you want to call her.
Sure.
Do you think Adam Gase was a good coach?
No, I do not. Do not think that.
That's all I'm saying. That's all. He got fired from Miami and immediately hired by the Jets.
I remember it was crazy.
With no players around saying.
We couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe they did.
Yeah, so it's like he immediately got set up for failure. This is the best situation that this young man has been in as a professional. Like, literally. And I understand you get spooked when you look at numbers or you look at his production, those other teams. It scares you, but you got to take into consideration what he was working with.
Okay, but let's talk about it then, because he's reemerged as a starting quarterback under Kevin O'Connell, and he's been a key part of the Vikings' success this season. So has he earned a big contract in Minnesota? Now keep it real, because you was just talking.
No. I need to see him win a playoff game in Minnesota.
That's all I'm saying.
No, that's not what you said.
Yes, it is.
You said his past.
I'm saying it is. It does have me spooked. Which is why I would also say I don't think he's earned a big contract yet, because I need to see what he does in the playoffs.
Okay, so the reason I say that, and I'll put my general manager hat
I'm afraid that Minnesota is a regular season game. Team.
I don't think that's the case. I think with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, they were a regular season team. This team, for whatever reason, with Sam in Jefferson and Addison, and I know Kirk had them, but it's almost like with Sam, they just feel him a little bit more. Plus, Brian Flores is settled in as a DC, even though he'll probably be in consideration for a head coaching job here real soon. He's settled in as a DC. This is a different type of football team. There's no spook going on right there. Think about Minnesota. Minnesota's lost to the Detroit Lions by 1 point, I believe it is, and then they lost to the Rams. Okay, outside of that, they've been pretty damn good, I must say, especially Sam Darnold. Now, you asked the question about the contract situation. I need to see him win a game because they've been in this same situation with Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Same situation. And to me, Sam Darnold's a much better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, even though Kirk Cousins.
But.
Well, this is his first opportunity
But I'm saying,
in the playoffs.
hypothetically speaking, he loses a game. So now you win. Say they 14-2 and then or 15.
But how does it look though, Paul? Is he throwing interceptions?
But if I go 15-2, I got to run this back with him. Like, he gave us a chance.
Yeah, but what's that number?
What's the
number? He ain't never got paid. So what's the number? This is his first big opportunity to get a check.
Yeah, it's going to be in the $50 million range.
So, yeah, if they're going to pay him that, then I'm staying in Minnesota.
Yeah, of course.
But if they start trying to play with his money and start talking that, we want to give you Daniel Jones this type money, and this is what we think you're more like Baker Mayfield, at that point, he got to test the open market.
Yeah.
He's got to test the open market.
As he should. But when you're talking about what Minnesota should do, keep in mind they do have J.J. McCarthy.
I'll trade J.J. McCarthy like yesterday.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy, and I said this yesterday on the show, I'll say it again. He ain't Sam Darnold when Sam Darnold is healthy and got players around him. It's just, I understand that we got enamored with the national championship in Michigan and Harbaugh saying he's the best I've ever had and all of those sort of things, and they took him in the first round. If they were to give him a legitimate shot to go up against Sam in training camp, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a USC homer, but I'm saying it, he wouldn't have lasted. You could just look at it and tell.
But they did draft him with the intention of him being the starting quarterback. And
which, to me, is fine.
When you have a rookie quarterback, there is a certain amount of time that you can ideally let them sit behind a older quarterback. But eventually they have to get on the field or you're burning those cheap years of their...
I think Sam is 27, 28.
Right. But he's there because that was the original plan. Is that JJ was, they were going to bring JJ along. No question about it. But they thinking like you. By saying, well, I watched him play in the past, and that was the thought process. So you knew that Sam was going to be this good.
I swear, I tell you, I said, because of Justin Jefferson, because of Addison, because of the running game, because of the coach, Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell was cut from the same cloth as Sean McVay.
But you still think that you need to see him in a playoff game?
Yeah, I need to give him that type of money. I just need to see it.
I don't need to see anymore. I mean, look, he's giving us a chance. If they win the NFC,
that's just like
get the bye.
But
what more do you need to see?
No, but it's just like Jordan Love, right? Jordan Love went into the situation. He not won the starting job. They kind of gave him the starting job, whatever. Got rid of Aaron Rodgers. He came out. He balled out. He went into the playoffs, took care of business, and they wrote him the big check.
Right, but
you want to see him.
Was homegrown talent.
I understand that, but he never really played. So it's the same thing. He never played. J.J. McCarthy is on the trading block for me. Daniel Jones will get a backup offer from me to back Sam Darnold up. I'm Kevin O'Connell. I can make magic with him, something Brian Daboll wasn't able to do. And then I got Sam Darnold. I'm going to go get me a 2 and a 3 for J.J. McCarthy because somebody will want him. Somebody will get him based on the quarterbacks that's coming out this year. You might be able to hit on that. But Sam is there to stay if they pay him right.
I think we're saying the same thing, though.
Well, how?
Well, there's no denying the season that Sam Darnold has had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't need to even see a playoff game.
No, you got to see a playoff game.
I have to see a playoff game. I have to see a playoff game.
I do.
Because the regular season and the playoffs
But
are
what
two different.
direction do you think you go in? Say he bombs out in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
so now you go from a team that could possibly win the NFC next year.
No, but that number changes.
The number
for me.
changes, and keep in
changes.
mind, they drafted
Yeah, of
J.J.
course the number
McCarthy, so
changes.
they have a contingency plan should they decide that they're not sure about what Sam Darnold how far Sam Darnold can take them.
If
and when
he
you're talking
turns
about paying and committing to him long term, that's a completely different conversation.
I'm not looking to have him turn into a pumpkin on my watch. So I got to make sure that we're set up for success because I had Kirk Cousins.
See, we're saying the same thing.
It's the playoff. That's all I need to see.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I need to see.
You're just saying it with more.
What? Force?
Yeah.
No, I just want to see if Sam can.
I want to make sure they're not a regular season team.
No, I want to see if can Sam throw 3 or 4 touchdowns and not turn the ball over at the wrong time in the playoffs. That's all I want to see. And then he gonna be paid in the top 6 or 7 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, he certainly will have earned that. Before we get to break, we have to talk about last night's game.
Oh God.
The Bears lost their 10th straight game in embarrassing fashion on Thursday Night Football. The Seahawks only needed 6 points to win in Chicago. Caleb Williams got the ball with more than 5 minutes and 3 timeouts left, but was unable to score to win or even just tie the game. That was some kind of watch.
Snoozer.
Whew. How disappointing has Caleb's rookie season been, though, Keyshawn?
Look, it's only disappointing because the expectations and the high hopes that we have for the team as a whole coming in. This is a rookie quarterback. A rookie in the National Football League. Coaching situation was a complete disaster all the way around, right? But when you go out there and you put a roster together and you spend a lot of money like Ryan Poles, the general manager, did, and you draft a quarterback that all I needed him to do was hand the football off, dink and dunk from time to time, and take a shot. That's all I need him to do. But part of that is when you're a rookie, there's 3 things that I need you to be able to capitalize on your first couple years in the league. The first year, I just need you to learn how to get to the damn stadium. That's all. Just learn how to get there. You can play, but I need you to learn how to get to the stadium. That second year, I need you to start showing me some flashes of something. That third year, you need to be hitting, I'm talking like Pro Bowl level at the third year. It's a step back because he didn't even learn how to get to the stadium with his coaching staff. In fact, I'm sure he didn't even want to drive to the stadium half the damn time dealing with these coaches. So I think his best days are ahead of him. He's got to get rid of the football a lot sooner than he holds on to the ball way too long.
Yes.
And he got sacked last night by one of them big old dudes. And the first thing I told my boy that was with me, Tamikis, I said, man, dude don't realize homeboy is grown with a full beard and got a baby mama and everything. He mad. Wife, whatever.
We're not 100% sure what his personal situation is.
I'm not saying it like that.
This is hyperbole.
Man, why he mad?
Because he mad. He just mad.
Because he got bills to pay.
He got bills to pay, and you in the way.
Right.
And he's holding on to the football and backpedaling all. And I'm like, you got to get rid of the ball, man. You got to step up.
No, he holds it entirely too long.
Running around in circles and stuff.
Watching it, it's like the ball's being held too long. He's moving out of position. The offensive line, he's not stepping up into the pocket. It's like everything is being moved around. There's no way to plan for what the decision making.
Panic sets in. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. This is more of an embarrassment to the Bears organization. Like you say, they brought in all these pieces to say, hey, this guy looks like he could be the next Mahomes. This guy, you know what? We can probably make the playoffs this year. That was the plan for the Bears. That was the plan coming in there. But it just looks bad when you have a rookie and you put these expectations, and you've been saying this all along, Joy, every week that we talked about it, like the expectations were too high. Well, the expectations went even higher because not only are the number 1 pick, when you see all these other rookies playing a certain way, it just looks bad on the Bears organization. Like, did they make another mistake?
Man.
Now we're going to be like, he got time. He can still develop into something, but something's got to change.
I just take joy back, and you too, Paul. One of our colleagues was once a rookie, in Mark Sanchez, that had the same situation, a veteran team in New York that had some pieces around. They went to the AFC Championship game because Rex Ryan knew what to do with Mark.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to be Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
What we're asking you to do is just do what we're asking you to do and no more.
Right.
That's it.
So why couldn't he do that?
That's
because the coaches.
Coaching, and I don't know that the coaches went into this year on the most solid footing. There was conversations about whether he was the right coach for Caleb Williams to begin with, which should have been your sign right there that you need to make a change. You're bringing in this highly touted rookie that we've been talking about for years as the best player in college football. The expectations were through the roof. Nobody calmed any of the expectations and said, hey, the goal this year is to make sure that Caleb Williams is in the best position to develop into a franchise quarterback because he's the future. No, the conversation was, we're going to win the division. We're going to go to the NFC Championship game. There's no way that we don't make the playoffs. First of all, they're in the toughest division in football, maybe ever. Look at the records of the other teams in the division with the Chicago Bears. Insane. So for you to come in as a rookie to an organization that does not have a recent history of winning, the expectations are not just for you to be good, but to take this team from the dark ages of football into the modern NFL. Your comp is Patrick Mahomes. You're leaning into the things that you did in college that you can't do in the NFL because everything is precision and timing and speed and fast and faster and bills to pay and grown men and beards. And it's a different league. You can't do those things in the NFL. And day in and day out, the same thing happens. He's been sacked 67 times. Wow. That is the second most by a rookie in NFL history. Only David Carr has been sacked more with 76. For comparison, Jaden Daniels has been sacked 38 times. And Bo Nix has been sacked 22 times to his 67.
And I can guarantee you, it's about the protection and the scheme. It ain't that it's not that they're getting rid of the football any faster, but the protection in the way the offensive line and the coaching staff protects them when they design the plays is what allows those two young men not to be sacked a whole lot. It's just the reality of it.
This is the interesting part, Key, because you said they want them to come in and do a certain thing.
No, they should have.
They should have.
They should have brought him in and said, all I need you to do is drive the bus, don't hit the curb. That's all I need you to do. I don't need to duplicate your Heisman Trophy season. Yeah. I don't need you to do that. Even though we took you number one overall.
The thing is, how can he look the same in week 17 or 16 as he did in week 17 as he did in week 2? Yesterday, it looked like that was him in week 2.
But he had two offensive coordinators. Shane Waldron, they brought in from Seattle that wasn't retained.
That can't be all on the coaches.
1,000%.
He's a rookie. This is why going into the season, people were cooking me about this. There should not be this level of expectations for him. It doesn't matter that he's the number one overall pick.
Yeah.
Everything was on paper. You know when somebody's trying to sell you something and you're like,
man, I wish I was coaching.
This looks good, but where's the substance? I don't see what's underneath here. Yes, you put together a nice roster. You brought in veterans. You did the right thing to help him. But then you put the expectations that it should, because C.J. Stroud did it. And look, the other rookies are having success, but you have to add nuance to the conversation. Look who's coaching them.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Well, look who's coaching them is correct. It's okay.
Sean Payton is one of the best offensive coaches in the history of the league. He's a Super Bowl winning coach.
Yes.
Dan Quinn has gone to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The coaches that are coaching the offensive side of the ball as a duo in Washington are two former head coaches. That matters.
It does matter a lot, but you got to keep the training wheels on with these young quarterbacks. But what happens is the expectations from the fan base, they start getting and helping them make these decisions by listening to what people are talking about on sports talk radio shows and worrying about what's in the newspaper and online. This is what really happens with coaches and front office people. They start paying attention to the outside noise instead of saying to themselves, we got a defense that was one of the top defenses in the league the second half of the season. We brought in DeAndre Swift at the running back spot. We got a nice nucleus of wide receivers. We don't have to take the training wheels off yet. We can just do things a certain way, and they would win a lot of football games. But when you're out there trying to appease the massive, Bear fans thinking, oh, we got this guy, we're going to throw the ball all over the place, it's not going to work out that way. It's not going to go good for you.
You have to regret.
I feel bad for him, though, because
I don't blame Caleb at all.
But I feel bad for him because when you talked about Carr and now Caleb, you got to think about Tim Couch. Some of these dudes that were sacked as rookies all time, it didn't work out for them long term. It just didn't.
Well, things have to change dramatically next year. You can't do multiple years of that. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.